Hi, I'm joined with Savannah Johnson. Savannah, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm great. Savannah here is a local real estate agent in the Birmingham area. And Savannah, with that being in Birmingham, over the course of your real estate career, have you been in Birmingham, Alabama the whole time?
I actually moved to Birmingham in 2017. Um,
Okay.
I was actually born and raised in the small town of Gunnersville, Alabama, and I actually lived in the same house my entire life, which I thought was pretty common until I started meeting more people, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you've never moved?" Until I went to college, of course, and I went to the University of North Alabama.
Okay.
Um, and there I studied public relations and marketing, um, and moved to Birmingham right after I graduated. I landed my first job, not in real estate, but for a startup tech company, doing PR, social media, um, web development. I even started doing like some software coding towards the end of my time there.
Right on.
But that, yeah, but that's what actually brought me to Birmingham was that job. Um, and really, it was there, I guess, that I noticed my entrepreneurial spirit. Um, and really, at the end of the day, I would come home and I loved my job, but I would always think, I feel like I'm not connecting with people as much as I want to, and I'm not doing something super meaningful like I want to. Um, and my boyfriend actually noticed that and saw me struggle with that aspect of my job. And he had been in the real estate industry for a few years and kind of convinced me to get my license. So that's how I got my license. I um, took the risk, which it was a risk for me to quit my full time job and get my real
I
estate
bet.
license.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, it's not just, not just financially, but the unknowns of it all in general. You don't know if you're going to be good enough at it to do it full time. So took the risk and got my license in April of 2019.
And never look back so far?
Never looked back. Yeah, not yet.
Yeah, right. So it's been a year and a half in Birmingham, and since then, how many people have you been able to help achieve their real estate goals, individuals, families, since April 2019?
Oh gosh, I forgot the number.
Been a lot. We were talking a little bit beforehand. You've been able to help a lot of people, right?
Yeah, about what was it, 30 something?
30
50?
something. I thought it was 50 that we said 55, but
Okay, so yeah, since April of 2019, I was
yeah,
thinking
your whole
a
career.
whole year, but
Mhm.
okay, yeah, so about 55, 60 people. Yeah.
That's great. That's awesome. And with that over the so last year and a half, helped 55 people. And are these mostly residents of Birmingham, or are the people moving out of state into Birmingham? Like, what are they, people selling their home, buying their home? I'm just curious. What have you been helping residents do there?
It's really a combination of all the above. A lot of first-time home buyers, so a lot of people who have been renting and decided they're ready to take the leap of home ownership. So that's really fun. I love helping first-time buyers throughout the whole process and kind of holding their hand throughout the entire thing. Um, but then I have some people who are looking for renovation projects, which is really fun. Finding really old houses and seeing if it has good bones or not to renovate and helping people visualize that. That's also something we do a lot of too.
Gotcha, gotcha. And let's talk about the market really quick. I'm obviously not in Birmingham. You know the market and what's happening there. And in terms of a first-time home buyer, what does a first-time home buyer got to know right now in the Birmingham market and be aware of and be prepared for to actually make that leap of home ownership?
Yeah, so right now, a challenge would be there are not enough homes on the market. And educating first-time home buyers in a normal market is interesting enough, but when you put them
Okay.
in this market where you have to prepare them that they're going to be competing with other offers more than likely, so putting their best foot forward, there's really no room for negotiations. up front just because there's so much competition right now. So that's probably the most important thing. I like to give them that expectation up front, like, hey, here's how the market is. You've heard it. It's a seller's market. Here's what we've got to do in order to be successful and win.
Yeah, yeah. And that seems to be the same rhythm as far as the whole U.S. and everything's going.
Yeah.
If there's a home that you want to see, don't wait for the weekend. You got to go right then and there and take a look at it. And if it's something you want, you got to move quickly. So I like
Yeah.
that.
And it's been a lot of virtual tours too, even with people
That's
who
right.
are local. Um, they've been at work or they can't leave their house. And so I'm really kind of having to be on the edge of my seat, just waiting. If someone needs to see a house, I go over there and virtual tour the whole thing for them, just so they can see it ASAP.
Gotcha. When you mean virtual tour, you mean like just take a video or do FaceTime with, or just like a messenger video, like just anything to get on video, right? And send it.
Pretty much, just
Okay.
whatever the buyer's preference is. Some have preferred to be there on FaceTime. Some just let me do a video walkthrough. I even brought a GoPro to one of them because it was a really cool house. I was like, oh, we've got to get the wide angle on this one.
Right.
So
Well, that's great. Well, awesome, Savannah. I am curious, and I'm sure people who will be watching this are curious. Why, right now, should someone work with you versus another real estate agent in Birmingham right now?
So I think there's really one thing that I've always thought about myself is I don't possess that personality trait of the typical salesperson. Um, I feel like when you think of car salesman or real estate agent, you this personality comes to mind. Um, and I think you do have to have a certain personality to be a good salesperson, and that does come
Right.
into play in real estate. But for me, I found it really beneficial to not possess that trait. And really, how I do that, there's two ways. One being my communication, um, whether that's my response times or the channels that I communicate through or the amount that I'm communicating, being able to communicate with different types of people. That's so important to me. I don't know if it's my communications degree or just who I am or a combination of both, but um, that's a skill that I really take pride in. Um, and then, this is probably the most important to me, is the way that I treat every single client like they're the only one I'm working with. Um, so obviously I do this full time. So there are times where I'm working with 6 to 7 clients at a time,
Sure.
but none of those clients know that. They feel like they're the only one I'm working with. Um, and that's just really important to me to make people or show people that they're important. And I do that through listening and communicating. And I think that's important to me in life in general, not just work life. So making each transaction personal and not just a sale.
A transformation instead of a transaction.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I love it. I
That's
love that.
perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I'm going to steal that.
should. You have to make sure that you give me not photo credit, but quote credit.
Yeah.
I want to pull up your Instagram. Savannah is very active on Instagram and posting a lot of what she's doing. So I'm going to go ahead and share that now. We can just take a quick look at it. So Savannah sells B-Ham. I didn't know that Birmingham B-Ham was short for Birmingham until talking to Savannah. That's pretty cool. Um, so yeah, if you want to give her a follow, there's her handle right there. Anything you would say on here, Savannah, to look out for?
We do have a podcast coming soon.
Wow,
So be on the lookout for that. We'll post some teasers coming up soon, but it should
nice.
be interesting.
You'll post it here on Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. I might have to give you a follow.
Yeah, you should.
Even though I'm here in Florida. But anyways, Savannah, thanks for hopping on today, and I hope you the best and the rest of this year.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been fun.
Have a good one.